Paul Godebert says, I think Paul is from Sweden. I continue to think we Scandinavians should liberate all Viking lands currently under Muscovite occupation. That would be amazing. Joni, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's as I said, I think it would be amazing to get it back, and it's not impossible in the long run. I think if there is a collapse of the regime one day, and then maybe a second collapse, and so on, if the economic situation of Russia turns really, really bad one day, then maybe it could be discussed. But I doubt that it's going to happen anytime really soon, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to see. Well, I think Russian Empire's collapse is inevitable. The problem is how much time it will take. With Soviet Union, it took, 65 years for it to start degrading and collapsing. We'd better not. And I just don't like to make any predictions.
But they had Ukraine in Soviet Union. That's why they was prosper. Smart people with rich land, a lot of resources.
And industry as well.
Yeah, and like Baltic countries as well. A lot of smart, awesome people.
Yeah.
NATO. So, and right now Russia seems like it's alone. Maybe with China a bit, but still, it's not Soviet Union.
No.
Yeah, it's not that strong.
Yeah, and smart.
You mean not that smart as Soviet
Union?
No,
yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Okay.
Still, Finland front will be okay if they open, like Finland front. It will be suitable.
Yeah, my biggest fear for Finland on a military level against Russia is that on drone-related things we are not really up to date. Even if our army has a lot of smart people who follow closely and who work hard, but in peacetime for a country, it's just really hard to keep up because you cannot buy every generation and train people on every generation of that. So I think in terms of drone warfare, all Western countries would have a really tough time for at least 6 months or something at the beginning of the war. And so even if we're prepared on other stuff, on the drone stuff, it's quite complicated for us, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wanted to say when you started saying about that, I wanted to say, you'll be fine. Like, you'll learn fast as Ukrainians. Don't worry. But yeah, of course, it will take around half a year to keep up, to catch up with.
Yeah.
With
but
Ukraine.
Still, like, for example, looking at the China, how they upgrade the drone warfare and drone military units, they doing so great even without war. So
that's true. But they have a lot of resources. We have 5 million people, so we don't have as much money for that. But it's true, China is impressive on drones. I agree.
I believe, bro, they have desire. Like,
that's
it's not only about money. Like, you have not so much people, but still you have a lot of smart people, and you have some money. Even compared to Russia, you have some, especially when you're together with all Scandinavian countries.
That's true.
I believe, your country is even richer than Russia, right? Together, or maybe close to.
Yeah, exactly.
Close.
Yeah, I think.
Because I was learning about like your budget and budgets, and so this is. You can see even from Ukraine, so it's not about quantity. It's always quality. So only desire and money. You have money way more than Ukraine, for example, I believe, and that's why. Let's do it. Let's start some drone factories. We really need to do it because, like, evil countries unfortunately upgrade their weapons and. just civilized world, just sitting and chilling and watching this Colisee fighting, and gave us something. Sorry for my opinion, but I believe looking for like at least European country, what they have, they just give us something for us not to die.
Yeah.
Just like tiny level to survive. That's all. To be honest, like we appreciate they help, but like they don't let us win this fight, or at least being even. They only like give us something. Just okay, keep on fighting, guys, please.
I
Do your
fully
job.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, but no offense, still we still appreciate Western support, but yet it's not good enough, and especially how they trading with the Russia still.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is tough topic actually, because they literally give Russia so much money to keep on to continue fighting against Ukraine, and give Ukraine something, so it start being like, bloodbath or just fucking training ground, and in here.
Yeah.
But it's Rick's prerogative to talk about some sad topic. It's not mine. It's not my specialization. So sorry, Rick. I don't want to take your salary or your bread. It's
Well,
your job.
Roman, you know that I totally agree with you on this, and I've seen that infographics. I think all the world seen it like 1 or 2 months ago, where some, I don't know, was it a media or research center calculated how much Europe paid to Russia for their oil and gas during these 3 years, and how much, comparing to that, Europe gave aid to Ukraine. And it was like, yeah, they gave something like 3 times more to Russia than they gave to Ukraine. So it's such a cynicism. And, for Ukrainians, it's, we're boiling, and at the same time, we're super disappointed. This is really hitting the morale, Joni. When we see news like this, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of cynicism is that? Why do we deserve that? And all those double standards to protect Israel with all NATO capabilities, Israel not even being part of NATO. NATO and the European Union is full of double standards towards Ukraine. And it's just, yeah, this is why we like to be aggressive to our European allies and not really value, and it seems sometimes that Ukrainians don't value and don't appreciate the support that West is given. But come on, West, if we're being honest, how much support you've given to Russia at the same time? This is why we're sometimes being aggressive. Not because we're not ungrateful, because we're realistic and we see what West is also doing, and putting Russian flag together with American flag when you're congratulating your nation with American Flag Day, it's what the fuck is going on? Like, it's really idiotic. And I mean, Roman,
Yes.
you've seen the
Rick.
news, right?
Now you're back, and you're doing your job. Yes.
Yeah. No, but
You did it.
I've been trying to talk about this subject a lot on Twitter for the last a bit more than a year. I try to make a thread every now and then where I try to remind people in Europe that we haven't done nearly enough, and that nowadays I also say that Trump has been elected since November. That was 7-8 months ago, and Europe still hasn't really woken up since or done anything, even if that was like another reason to wake up, and Europe still just waits and kind of like tries to let Trump and Putin decide the future of Europe. And it's an important topic, and I think it's important to tell Europe about this, because the US, it's a really tough one to get the US back in terms of aid, because Trump is very compromised. But Europe has the cards and has the money if it wants to help. and Europe still hasn't really woken up. And I think a lot of Europeans, I have family who live in France, and I go to France quite often. And if you listen to French people in the media, on French TV, the generals, they talk as if France had sent like huge amounts of weapons. They're like, yeah, we've sent everything we could, type of stuff. So if people hear this, they're not going to ask to send more, because the general public doesn't know that they've sent nothing. And because of that, it's really important that Ukrainians, and also people who support Ukraine who are not Ukrainians, also remind Europe the tough reality is that we have not done enough. There's enough people who point out the positive things and who do that, and it's good also to point out positive things. But that's one thing that needs to be repeated more and more, and I fully agree with both of you on that.
Yeah, you see, the problem with repeating negative things and pointing them out is that people usually don't like to hear it, and they would not, you would not be popular. Well, this is my choice. I've chosen to not be popular. This is why I'm, as Roman mentioned, I'm usually talking about some negative, heavy stuff and stuff like that. Probably this is why I also go to Free Azov rallies, and show the pain and suffering of the families. But all of these things are important, and facing the reality is important. While you try to just turn a blind eye on reality, someday you will face that reality in your country, in your hometown, or your friends or relatives will face it. So we need to face the ugly reality. So thank you guys for talking about that reality with me today.
Rick, I need to do my job as well.
Do it.
Sorry for that, but while I'm talking to my fellows from Third Assault, especially with those with whom we fight on assault mission, and right now they in drone operator, and we start agreed that it's really start being more depend on Ukraine. I mean, the results of war, because what Western give us, it helps more to protect rare city and civilians. So aircraft, like anti-Shahed stuff or stuff like that, maybe some missiles, which we can't shot on Russia, unfortunately. Or because we always do like only our drones, Ukrainian made drones, and most of the drones, like most of the fight is doing by like maybe 80% of Ukrainian weapons. I mean, explosions, drones, everything. Sometimes we get some French or some German, even American drones, but American is good for like deep reconnaissance, but not like a bomber. And other European drones, even which they give us in a little amount, they're not so good, because they need to upgrade it for reality, for reality on the battlefield. So right now, what we really need is like is to I believe to help different units. And because there are a lot of smart guys who doing some cool high technology and different stuff, and all they need is like resources. They need explosions, and they need different kind of drones, and they ready to do everything, even between the mission, instead of have some rest. I'm just so inspired because I visited. We're gonna start soon some not big but like medium fundraising for them, like 600,000 hryvnias. It's like $15,000, I believe, right, Rick?
Yeah.
And I was in their like underground laboratory factory, and it was really amazing, and they will upgrade because they become a third corp. So it will be like huge big battalion. Right now, it's like rota. How to say? Okay, it's like 100 soldiers.
Rota is company. Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's like company, and very soon is gonna be like 4 or 5 times more, including everything is automatization, like this automatization platform which can carry wounded and which can shoot and which can bring a lot of stuff. So everything not so bad, and our mission sometimes not only to ask about some weapon, but only doing some money collaboration, and in many times, in many situations, it could be profitable for like your countries as well. For example, Yoni, if your country or some person decide to communicate or collaborate, cooperate with us, who, for example, can give us like some feedbacks or some experience, and so it's like you're gonna really have opportunity to invest money in some smart technology, get this technology which was proven on the battlefield, and at the same times eliminate as much Russians as we can. And I only know some few of such units right now, and like I just try to share with you something good, and I know a lot of units start working at this procedure, and our task sometimes not so hard, but to find some financials and to communicate some military from abroad, like for example even your Finland military who really want to be prepared or at least defend the country against Russia, because nobody knows what's this motherfuckers planning to do with Europe, or at least we know, but we can't predict it 100% sure. So everything not so bad, and we just need to talk more, and we just need to find such project for my opinion. And for Europeans, money, they only will like spend some money, and they will get a lot of knowledges. I believe this is important, and this is pretty doable.
And I've actually been writing about the fact that a lot of countries in Europe use the excuse of not having equipment not to send, but we can always send money to Ukraine's defense industry, or as you said, to units and so on, but also the defense industry in general, just to order Ukrainian equipment for Ukraine, because it just makes more sense. As you said, nowadays it plays a bigger role. So no, that's a good point. And